Oh, that
Holy
was
fuck, that was nice. Just let me know.
Send it.
All right, welcome to the Micro Machines podcast. We're a little short today. It's just three of us, but we're going to be going over multi-turret tanks. And this is something really interesting, something that we kind of love here at the Micro Machines. But before we get started, let's do some intros. My name is Garrison. I'm out here in Kansas. I've got a, what is this, a fucking strawberry water, working on some North Africa campaign figures.
You got me, Callum, coming in from New Zealand. It is hot as fuck right now. It's the middle of summer, and I am absolutely sweating. And I'm trying to cool off with a nice Monteith's Brewery Co. Tight Lines Pale Ale, and it's damn fine. And I've also just been working more on the Mooseru Cup build because I hate it.
And I am Clint, out of Indiana, and I have a Pepsi.
A fucking Pepsi, eh?
How about you gentlemen have yourself Pepsi?
All right, so this is, of course, the first episode for 2024. Did we all have a good break? Because it's been a bit of a break since we last recorded. I know it has for me.
Yeah, it was good. Had a best friend and his family out. He's about to deploy, so that was nice, and just a lot of working.
Very nice, very nice. Did we get anything good for Christmas?
Ooh, a static grass applicator.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
Yes.
That's what I got.
Ooh.
I got one of those as well, and a UV light for curing resin prints.
Oh, that's freaking tits.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now I've just got to get it to print things properly. I think Clint, after our last conversation, I'm going to have to change the bottom of the vat. It's fucked.
Yeah, them FEPs usually only go for about 20 to 25 prints.
I got 3 out of it before it went cloudy.
Oof.
Yeah, so
That sucks.
yeah.
It must have got exposed to UV light somehow.
Yeah, I think it probably did. So it's just part of learning, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've still got to figure out how to get it to print things properly anyway. So yeah, it's all just part of it. And of course, you know what happens the minute you get a 3D printer, don't you? Everyone comes out of the fucking woodwork going, "Oh, can you print me off this?" It's like, no.
Yes. It's like, no, it's busy right now with my stuff.
Yeah, it's like, no. That queue is fully booked. I had one friend of mine said, "Oh, I just broke the foot on my set of scales. Do you think you can print me off a foot for that?" I said to him, "Like, mate, this is resin. You take one step on that, the whole thing shatters.
Yeah.
So that would not support your weight."
AKA lose the weight.
All right. So, of course, yes, this week we are doing multi-turreted tanks because I wanted to. But multi-turret tanks are interesting because they're very popular in the 20s and 30s. Of course, this is the time when people didn't really know what a tank was. In a sense, it was there were multiple ideas on how they're going to be used, what their role was, stuff like that. So there was all these different designs, and multi-turret ones at the time were favored purely because the thinking was you had more guns, you had people that could shoot in all directions, push through, and mainly you'll notice a trend of most of these are infantry support tanks, moving pillboxes and stuff like that. But I mean, we'll see later designs that don't have that sort of thing in mind. But this is a very sort of transitionary period of trying to figure out what a tank is and how they're used and what you can fit onto them. So you see all these different designs trying to. It's not like they were trying to design something whilst trying to figure out the need for it. If you guys get what I mean, it's they knew they had something. They just couldn't figure out at the moment how it was what they were going to do with it.
It's like they were still carrying a lot of things over from World War One.
Yeah,
Wasn't applicable anymore.
Yeah, like machine gun heavy, sort of land battleship. Yeah, land battleship sort of things of pushing through and just doing all of that. But then, of course, what happens when you come across another tank that's doing the same thing? There's just you'll see a learning experience throughout all the designs that we're going to look at. And of course, we're going to show you exactly how what kits to buy to build them, because they all look amazing. All right. So first off, you guys are watching?
Yes.
Yep.
So we have technically this is 3 tanks, but they are basically all off the same design. So I've just included them all into one slide. So this is the 7TP from Poland, 1935, the T26 from Russia from 1931, and the Vickers 6-ton from Britain, 1931. What you'll notice is they all look the same.
They do.
That's because they basically are. All 3 are designed off the original Vickers 6-ton, the British one. This is the Vickers Type A. The Type A, of course, having 2 turrets. The Type B ended up with 1 turret with a 2-pounder in it. So you'll see the suspension systems are all the same. It's mainly just slight tweaks in armor and armament, depending on the country. So say like the Vickers 6-ton that had Vickers machine guns in it. The Polish one and the 7TP had their WZ-30s machine guns in it, and the T26 had the Russian DT machine guns. The T26 as well also had a 37mm cannon in the right-hand turret. So this design for people listening, basically instead of having one big turret in the middle, you have 2 small turrets side by side. Of course, what this does is limits visibility and stuff like that all around. They're not the best design. If you see bottom right, the T26 there, that has been mounted with one of the turrets that has a 75mm recoilless rifle, which is of course too big. So it's like sticking out both ends of the turret.
Bro,
one of the turrets.
Yeah, I was
3
wondering
times
what's
the size of the turret.
It looks amazing though.
It's very HIDF.
Yeah. But you can see just slight differences in the design depending on which country. Of course, the British designed the Vickers 6-ton. They never used it themselves. It was literally a tank that was export only. So you'll mainly see it India, Turkey, literally everyone else used it. British never bothered. The Japanese looked at using Vickers 6-tons. Except this is when they were still friendly with the British. Of course, the British were using petrol engines, and when the Japanese were trialing it, the engine caught on fire. There was an accident. Engine caught on fire, and everyone inside the tank burnt alive.
Nice.
So they went with their own design.
Which looked oddly similar.
Yeah, that ended up being the Type 95 Ha-Go that they went with. But yeah, we got these they're one step away from being a tankette, but they're just pure light tanks. And if you want to build them, you got some interesting ones. Of course, you have for the 7TP, the Polish version, 2 from IBG in 35th scale, with some very cool camo schemes, I will say. For the T26, the Soviet one, we have Hobby Boss and UM. I don't know who they are. And and also Zvezda. I think you kind of have to if it's a Russian-made vehicle. Zvezda has to, probably under law, has to make it. And then for the Vickers 6-ton Model A version, we have UM again. So I think
somebody
those are in
needs to do the
72nd.
Vickers with the Japanese trying to get out of the tank, and the cameraman nearby and a reporter screaming.
I honestly would love to have one of the Polish ones from IBG. It looks pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
And David Fletcher, he does a good report on this on the Tank Museum's YouTube channel. You guys ever watch them, the Tank Chats?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm sad that he's leaving, but it's understandable why.
Yeah, I know.
But it's just it's not the same, is it?
It's not. Because
Yeah.
he just tells it like it
Wait,
is.
Yeah.
wait. David Fletcher's just leaving.
Yeah. Well,
He
yeah. He
has left.
left like a year ago or so.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
He
To be fair,
retired.
I'm still catching up
Thanks.
on their videos, but well, shit. That's kind of sad.
Yeah. I think it was his voice was giving out a bit.
It
Couldn't
was.
Ooh,
couldn't do the recording as much and stuff like that. So
oh,
yeah,
that sucks.
poor guy. I think their popularity on those videos might take a little bit of a dip because it's now the curator, isn't it, that does the videos?
Yeah,
I mean,
David something.
yeah, another David.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's good, but no, it's not the same.
It's not, because David Fletcher just be like, this thing is absolute junk.
Yeah, it's like, this is rubbish. You don't want to use it. I don't know why they did.
Yeah.
Oh, like his Valiant video, hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that one's a good one. All right, moving on. So we have this very small light tank. Next, we're going to look at the largest and still largest to-date production tank ever made. We have the Char 2C from France, built in 1921.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. So the Char 2C, there were quite a few of these made and used during the Second World War at the start of it. Not as many as they'd like. Down in the bottom left, you will see that is how many crew it took.
Holy shit!
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys to operate the Char 2C.
That's a fucking infantry squad.
It is.
I mean, is this a tank or an APC at this point?
The predecessor to the fucking BMP.
So the Char 2C was a multi-turreted tank. You had a large turret in the front that housed a 75mm cannon, or, as you'll see in the top middle, they did trial a short-barreled 155mm howitzer, which just made the Char 2C even just bigger. And in the back, in the rear, you had a turret in the rear, and that just had a machine gun in it. But you have just engine space right in the middle, like the engine sticks out the top. You got the classic French tracks that go up and over the hull. Yeah, believe it or not, there were like the Germans captured a lot of them, but they weren't that good, so they didn't use them a lot. However, there was one preserved after the war, and it was being moved around, and someone lost it.
Lost it.
Yes.
The Krauts are probably thinking, "This is who we're fighting." Jesus, we feel bad.
Well, this is after the war. Yeah, the Char 2C, there was one left, and it was being shipped to another country for something, and it disappeared. Like they don't know where it is. I think there is actually a team, an international team or organization or something dedicated to looking for it. Like to the point where it's like they're going through abandoned shipping container yards and using GPR radar on ship containers, just trying to find it. Like they don't know where it's
Damn.
gone.
That's actually kind of
Jeez.
crazy.
Yeah. Then again, I think it was the Americans that lost it because they also lost. You guys know about the
Tank Rush.
Krupp Ramau, the German giant minefield vehicle.
I know
No.
of it, but I've never heard a story about one being lost.
Well, same again. Americans found it. It was just a prototype one, and it's massive. It's about the same size as a Char 2C. Massive wheels, articulated center, and they were shipping it back, and that disappeared. They don't know where it went.
I really wonder if like it's hiding somewhere in like some underground base here in the States. Like shit
Honestly,
like that
probably.
surprisingly goes lost.
or it's
Yeah,
just lost
it's
somewhere. It's just in a shipping container yard somewhere. It's like, where'd it go?
yeah, it's sitting next to President Kennedy's brain.
Yeah. What, all over the place?
Oh,
But
well,
like,
it's in France. I think in 2004, 2005, they found what was it? One of the K5s, the Leopold rail guns, in an abandoned rail yard that had been sitting there since the end of the war. Nobody knew it was
Holy
there.
shit!
then again, they also lost the T95 super heavy tank in a bush. Literally, like it
Oh,
was
I
in a.
love this story.
They lost it in a bush, and they only found it because a gardener was like there was a gardening detail on a base. Where was it? It was in Fort. Oh, what's one of the tank ones? Don't
Fort
think it was
Sill,
Benning. I think it was one in Georgia. I think it was.
Uh,
Benning's in Georgia, but I
yeah.
don't know if
Yeah,
they do tank school there or not.
but it was one of those when it used to be used for testing and stuff like that. And yeah, it just they left it somewhere. It got overgrown with bush, and they only found it when a gardening detail went through, cleared the bush, and went, "Oh shit! There's a super heavy tank right here that we lost."
Like that's where that went.
Have you seen the Chieftain's video on that?
No.
He does an inside and outside 2-part video on the T95. Is really cool. You definitely watch it. You know how it's got 2 sets of tracks on either
Mhm.
side. Well, the outside set of tracks could actually were actually bolted on. There was a whole unit, and they actually for coming across a bridge that wasn't wide enough, they could unbolt the tracks and it would drag them like a trailer.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, enough of the T95 or T28, depending on who you're asking. So the Char 2C, or it was also known as the FCM 2C. So again, depends on who you ask. I could only find 2 kits for it. One is by Ming, and I almost bought this kit once, and I decided it was a bit too expensive. And when I went to buy it the second time round, it was lost forever, just
Oh.
like the real one. It's like you ever have those model regrets where you're like you didn't buy it and you're like, no, I'll get it later, and then suddenly it's just disappeared. And you can just
Yeah.
Yep.
that's my one. That I'd love that. But have you guys heard of SS Model?
Yes.
No.
I've been seeing them crop up all over the place. They're a resin kit company. I think they're like brand new in China. They have a Char 2C that you can buy 35th scale. Decent price as well. I think it's like $100.
Hmm.
Ah,
Oh, I thought that was just tracks. That's an entire kit.
Entire kit.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they
yeah, all their
do.
box art looks like that.
They have like they go all the way up to 1/6 scale tanks, like the M3 Stuart. They do in 1/6.
Hmm.
That's a huge fucking model to have
Yeah.
sitting somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Char 2C, Ming, SS model, an absolute beast of a vehicle. It honestly looks like one of those vehicles that was just a pure drawn up prototype, and then you realize, no, it was actually produced enough to be awarded the biggest mass produced tank in the world, and it still holds that record.
God.
All right. Up next, going to Britain, we have the Cruiser Mark 1 A9. Britain,
That's
1936.
beautiful.
Oh, I love the early cruiser tanks. Of course, the British with cruiser tank, lightweight, designed to break. You have the heavy infantry tanks that break through a line. Cruisers rush through and basically flank around and do cruisery things.
Molestation.
So the Cruiser A9 Mark 1 is fitted with a 2-pounder and a turret with a Vickers machine gun, which you can see by on the bottom right photo. It looks like even within the gun mantlet that Vickers is flexible. kind of see it doesn't line up with the barrel.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, the French were big into that early war as well.
So what, you basically have a movable coax in a sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So of course, yes. So you have a turret with a 2-pounder and a Vickers, and it has 2 turrets in the front, one on either side of the driver, with a Vickers machine gun in each of them. Of course, being Vickers machine guns, if you wanted to suppress the enemy infantry, you can literally just be firing them all day, and they wouldn't overheat because they're water cooled. As well as a 2-pounder, you had the Mark 1 CS, or close support, and those are fitted with a 75mm howitzer, mainly firing smoke bombs. They didn't even. I don't think they even had an HE for them. They were literally
What?
just for machine gun and smoke bombs for covering people.
No shit.
Yeah.
So
Of course,
do they use these in North Africa?
Yep.
I'll be damned.
Briefly.
That's actually fucking tits.
Yeah.
Imagine that
North
rolling
Africa
up on
is
a fucking 88 section.
Yeah, like North Africa is like early enough in the war that a lot of these kind of tanks were used because Britain didn't have anything else. You can see a lineage within the suspension, and that is that suspension style leads on to Valentine. Of course, when you get into the Mark 3 and 4 cruisers, they switch to a Christie suspension system, but the Mark 1 and 2 had the Valentine. I think there was a name for it. It was like a lazy suspension or something like that. Lazy bogey. I don't know. It had a weird name to it, but yeah.
Sounds like
There's
me.
them 2 Vickers in the front. It looks like it's just like, yo, come at me, bro.
It's like, sorry, did you want to leave cover? No, you're not.
Say, hey, poke your head out, please.
Tell you what, just lie down for a while. We're going to be here. And of course, if you want to build them, the best bet you have is you have Gecko models with their standard Mark 1. I think we all know Gecko models are pretty damn good. And
Yes.
of course, it's in Quanta scheme, which just gets me going.
It is nice.
Yep. And we have the Mark 1 or Mark 1 CS, and that is done by Bronco, which is hit or miss.
Bronco!
I've heard good things about Bronco and bad things about Bronco, so I can't really make my mind up on if they're good or not.
Very
apparently
overcomplicated, but when they hit, they hit.
Oh, yeah. They're like an AFE club kit.
Right. Yep. Oh, and also the British black and green camo as well. Just, yeah. Quanta and black and green just, yeah, does it for me. Okay, up next, of course, we have talked about this one in an earlier episode, so I won't go too much into it. You just go back to that episode. We have the Crusader Mark 1, designed Britain 1939. So, of course, you have the Crusader Mark 1, 2, and 3. The Mark 1 is the only one to be multi-turreted. It has a single Vickers machine gun in a turret in front next to the driver, armed with a 2-pounder and capable of fairly decent speeds. It was a very good cruiser tank. Well, depends on who you ask. Some people say it was very good. Some people say it was absolute dog shit. The Crusader, one good thing about the Crusader was its ability to fire on the move. Its stability was good enough that one of its tactics was just it wouldn't stop to engage. A lot of the times they just kept moving, and it was very good at hitting targets while on the move. So,
well ahead of its time.
Yeah. If you want to build one, we have Italeri, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Not sure if you'd want to touch it. And we have IBG's, the close support. Crusader was also made as a close support with that smoke bomb thrower as well. Yeah. But yeah, if you want a more in-depth look, Crusader, we did a full episode with it with the Totally Tank podcast.
Yes.
And that's all I'll say about that because that one didn't do so well. Anyway,
Episodes.
that was like a long time ago.
Very long time ago.
Yeah.
I think I was still in California.
I think you were. Yeah,
Don't
that
know
was
what
like
it was.
before you got out.
God.
Right. Up next, we got our first American one. We have the M2A2 light tank. Of course, it was the A2 version of the M2 light tank, which went on to become the M3 Stuart and M5 Stuart.
I'm so proud of you, Stewie.
So the M2A2 has a setup just like the 7TP and T26. You have two side-by-side turrets, one mounting a 30 cal and the other mounting a 50 cal. Of course, this had the same problems as the other ones: lack of a field of fire, machine with by even just around the start of World War II, machine gun only tanks were already found to be not that good because they couldn't really do much, especially if they met another tank or anything armored enough that even the 50 couldn't go through. And of course, like start of the war, a 50 caliber with armor piercing rounds was actually a bit of a threat to other armored vehicles, but they only had like 10 millimeters of armor, didn't they? If that. So the 50 cal was decent, but then you get later on, and it just wasn't good for anything really. Of course, if you want to build one of these, they do look pretty cool. I wouldn't mind having one myself. SS Model have an M2A2 in. They go down to 1 to 1/60th scale and then all the way up to 1/6 scale. So you have your pick and choose of whatever scale you want, which I like. And then of course, Varga Scale Models has just released theirs. He's just released his one. The M2A2 had the nickname May West, and I think if we see by his box art, we can figure out why. I don't know how he got
Daddy,
away
I
with.
want that tank.
I do too, son.
Good boy.
Yeah, those turrets are very nice, aren't they?
Very.
Oh yeah, nice and perky.
I wonder if they rotate.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, right. Moving on. We've got quite a few to go through.
Oh, my favorite.
Oh, one of mine as well. We have the M3 Lee from the US of A, 1941. Of course, this is the early version Lees. You'll see later on they actually deleted the top machine gun turret from the very top. Australians, when the Aussies got hold of them, they did that. But yeah, later war, they got rid of the machine gun turret on top of the main turret. So you'll only see early versions. So of course the M3 Lee is just guns stacked on guns stacked on guns. You have the 75mm hull mounted in the hull. You have the 37 in a rotating turret on top, and then you have a 30 caliber in a rotating turret on top of that. So it's a turret on a turret. Of course, yeah, that was just for the commander to have fun with. But later in the war, because the turret with the 37 did have a coax as well. So I think at that point it's just no point having two of them.
Yeah, you can never have too many.
Yeah,
Stack another on top of that.
Yeah,
guns up.
Go for a 30 and then put a 45 Thompson in it. They did also mention, you could use it for air defense, but it's only got so much, elevation. Did you know for the M3 Lee there was one suggestion for anti-aircraft?
Oh.
And that was using a canister round in the 37 because that could elevate high enough. So for a low flying aircraft doing a strafing run, you load a canister round into the 37 cannon, and you got one shot, so you better be good at it. But
that's like the fucking T-72 I sent you guys shooting down that drone.
Oh yeah,
that was cool.
Like a hell of a shot. That was cool.
That was a hell of a shot.
Yeah, that's like video game shit. That one.
Oh, dude. Yes.
What he didn't realize was the other drone coming up behind them.
You can see so much of the Sherman in this.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
you got the bogies, or the bogey system slightly different on the Sherman. Of course, the return rollers sit offset to the back of
Mhm.
the bogey, whereas the M3 Lee has it on top. Yeah, the front transmission housing. Yeah, I like seeing that sort of design progress within
Oh, me
vehicles.
too.
It's just little refinements here and there, and then eventually you get something decent. Um, if you want to build an M3 Lee, which I suggest you really should, and I desperately want to, well, you got a few options. You have the Academy one if you want to hurt yourself. You have the Tamiya one if you want something that's guaranteed to be decent. If you want to go on the sort of more high detailed, you have Mini Art, early production ones. They're full interior, so I don't know if you'd want to do that. And you have my beloved Tacom, and all the M3 Lees you'll see with the turret, with the machine gun turret on the main turret. They're all early war, so of course the North Africa, yeah, what was the North African operation called? What did the Americans call it? It wasn't Torch, was it?
Yeah, torch.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of North African markings, which I gotta say, I actually really like. I really like them. The yellow band and yellow stars. I don't know why. I like that early war marking.
It's very interesting. Definitely. Like I got the Tamiya Stewart, the newer one with the yellow star and whatnot, and I wanted to turn it into a Pacific theme, but I really do think I'll make it a North Africa build for later down the road.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
and if anyone says tanks don't get over weathered, over dusty, over anything, just bottom left photo. That I guarantee the inside of that tank is just flying with dust.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, you know
guaranteed.
it's horrible.
Oh yeah,
They gotta
hot
be
and
sitting there coughing up a lung.
you see why all the doors, all the gun ports are open as well. All
Real
right.
quick,
Yep.
I've got some pictures I'm about to send you guys of a Lee I got to go see in a museum.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking for the inside picture. Let's take a picture of the inside. I just can't remember which one it was.
Because the first M3 Lees had two machine guns in the hull.
Hmm,
You guys know that?
did not.
I don't think I knew that.
If you're looking at it from the front on the mid right, you got the mid plate, right? You can see it
Mhm.
on the Soviet one, right? You got the mid plate, and you got those two little port things.
Okay, that's the machine gun ports.
Yeah, so those were it was two fixed forward firing 30 cals, and that was aimed by the driver. But yeah, of course, that ended up being a no use thing because you couldn't really use them that much. And of course, if the driver's trying to aim the entire tank to fire machine guns, and you got everyone else swearing at him for moving all the time, and then poor guy on the 37's trying to aim, but everything's moving at the same time. The guys on the 75 can't aim for shit because they're moving.
It's like, God damn it, I'm done with this shit.
The driver's sitting there just like, I'm having fun.
Is that from that little tank museum close to you, where the doctor has all the stuff?
Yeah, House of Tank.
Yeah, that's cool. Does it run?
Uh, I don't know if that one runs, but they were saying like 80% of their stock runs, so I would assume it does.
That's
Nice.
a grant. That's a grant,
Oh,
not a
is it?
Lee. Yeah, that's a grant, not a Lee. That's British.
No,
Yeah,
well,
same thing.
whatever.
Same thing, different turret. Actually, the turret that's got on that's been hammered.
Yeah.
Was it like an ex bloody training target or something?
I don't think so.
God,
I mean, it's
damn.
been
think
hit.
if
You can see
I
the
think if
grays
it
on
was
it.
a training target, it'd have actual penetration and a lot more of it.
I mean,
Jesus.
it's been grazed several times.
Yeah, that I would not want to be inside that thing when those are hitting.
You definitely have a headache.
Be like that fucking Russian crew in the T-90 getting slammed by that fucking Bradley. You know they've got a
Oh,
hell of a headache.
I still can't believe what that Bradley did to it.
Oh, I know.
yeah,
It chewed that
that's
motherfucker up.
it's the one time I felt sorry for the Russian tankers. Jesus.
No, I didn't feel
Yeah.
sorry for him one bit.
All right. Anyway, continuing on. Up next, we have the Medium Mark III, Britain, 1930, and this is basically the same concept as the cruisers, except it's a medium tank. So this is armed with not a 2-pounder; it's armed with a 3-pounder. A 3-pounder is a 47 millimeter, if you want to convert it. 2-pounder being a 40 millimeter, 3-pounder being a 47 millimeter. So this is like their first foray into like larger caliber anti-tank. And yeah, you got the twin Vickers machine guns in the front as well, and an overall fairly cool looking tank. I'll give them that. I like the Mark III.
It is different.
It keeps reminding me of a slug.
Of a slug.
Yeah, it's kind of like that sort of
It does,
or
yeah.
tadpole or something like that. It's got that sort of look to it.
I didn't think about it until you said it, but yeah, it really does.
It's just always like every time you look at it, it's like this. It's like it's an animal of some kind that doesn't have legs. It's of course the medium Mark III wasn't used in the war. It was mainly interwar training period, unfortunately. So the only one of the medium Mark vehicles to actually see war was the Mark IV, and yeah, that one looks boring. If you want to build one of these, though, SS model again, they have a ton of really cool things, and this is one of them. And basically, the only company that has made the medium Mark III, unfortunately.
Oh, what is that? To get off topic just a little bit, it
Yep.
was the Bundeswehr when they first really got going in the 50s. It
Mhm.
was their version of an armored personnel carrier. Uh, I can't remember the name of it, but I tried so hard to find a model kit of that because it looks so fucking cool. I could not find a model kit.
If you can figure out the name, I'm sure someone could find it.
Probably.
Yeah, if you find out the name, we'll probably be able to find it.
Stand by. Proceed.
Well, while you do that, we'll go on to the next one. Oh, and also another reason I really like the medium Mark III, rivets. I like a riveted tank. All right, if you've been listening since the very, very start of the podcast, A, congratulations. B, you're brave. C, you poor bastard. D, you'll recognize this one, the Neubel Faustig or the Grosstraktor. Yes,
That
the
was my
episode.
first episode.
Yeah, that was Garrison's very first episode when we still called him Greg.
The Nobel Fallschirmjäger. We'll go with that.
The Neubel Faustig. That was I think that was Val's last episode.
It was.
Yeah.
It was kind of
We-
sad.
That's right. We needed him to translate and pronounce half the stuff in it. But yeah, so the Neubel Faustig is a German multi-turreted heavy tank. It was a concept of these pre-war.
No, it's not. This is clearly a farm tractor.
Yes.
Yes.
Proceed.
Yes, of course, early war, the Germans tried to be sneaky and calling everything farm equipment. But if you want an in-depth look into the Nobel Faustig, I wouldn't recommend episode 3, but if you really want to. But a quick rundown. So it has 3 turrets. You have 2 in the front and back, which they look very similar. They're like modified Panzer I turrets. And they both had an MG34, and then you have a turret in the top which housed a 37 and a 75 millimeter gun, and there were only 5 built. The first 2, so number 1 and 2, their turret, the guns were seated vertically. In 3, 4, and 5, they were horizontally, and I think the horizontal ones look better. And they saw action Norway and not Russia. I want to say Bulgaria, possibly. Yeah,
Probably Bulgaria.
Yeah, but no, Romania.
Okay, that would make more sense.
Yeah, but yeah, if you want to go in depth, go to episode 3. However, if you want to build one, amusing hobby, dragon, and trumpeter. Trumpeter has both types. Yeah, it is a cool looking tank. I will say that.
It's got them automatic seed planters on them.
It is massive as well.
Oh yeah, they could plow a field in no time.
Mm.
Or the Russian lines.
Yeah, that's it. I think the Russians
real
did a better
quick.
job of doing that to themselves.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. The Lang HS.30.
You all right?
Was that for dramatic effect?
No, that was actually an accident. It was my metal rulers falling on the ground.
Oh, I thought you were just like, it is this. And then pause, dramatic effect, big reveal.
I mean, what are you measuring at your computer that you need a whole bunch of rulers?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I would have thought you needed a set of calipers for that, but okay.
Oh, you're so funny.
Micrometers.
I'm gonna hate you guys.
Love you too.
Here, let me copy this image real quick and send it over into the fucking
I
chat.
don't think I want to.
You're gonna want to. Look at that thing.
Let's have it's weird.
What the heck is
I
that?
like it though.
It's early German after World War II.
That looks like
It's
Leopard
very-
British hull?
That's a Leopard 1 hull, isn't it?
No, I don't
No?
think it is.
Looks
Here.
more British to me.
It's completely German made.
It's interesting. I like it.
It's very odd. It
Yeah,
would make for a great Cold War what if.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because this is what the Panzer Grenadiers used in the 50s.
I would
Just
say
cool.
that second picture does look very German in that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I want one. That's cool.
Yeah, I'd build one.
We'll have to do an episode over that one day. Anyway, sorry about the
Anyway.
little feedback.
Okay, so up next we're going to look at a tank that, if it went into production, it would have beaten the Char 2C for world's largest production tank. And that is from Japan, the OI super heavy tank, or the 150-ton tank, designed between 1940 and 43. Of course, never left designs, but I'm going to include it because there are a couple models for it, and it's an interesting concept. So, of course, the OI is absolutely massive. It was going to weigh about 150 ton, so it classified as a super heavy tank. Never left the drawing boards though, because we all know about Japan's armor production.
Mm-hmm.
And
Asbestos.
looking at this would be beyond their capabilities, to be honest.
Oh yeah, and it'd only be feasible in China.
Yeah, like you. Well, that's the other thing. This would have never seen tank-on-tank combat with the Americans in any of the islands, because it would have been blown the fuck up by naval bombardment and aircraft.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's
Way
too
Couldn't
big.
hide this
target.
thing.
I mean, yeah, you wouldn't be able to hide it, and any aircraft roving around would look at that and just like, yeah.
But
Oh,
say
yeah.
some pilot would be like, "Is that a fucking tank or a bunker?"
It's like, hey, that house is moving.
Johnny, get your fucking Corsair with the rockets.
Okay, so this the OI was to have 4 turrets. You had 2 in the front, which housed 37. No, I want to say 37 or 75 millimeter guns. You had one in the back that had a machine gun, and the top turret, which was designed to have either a long barrel 75 millimeter or a 150 millimeter howitzer. It had about. The thing is, though, it only had two 75 millimeter plates as its thickest armor, so that's 140 millimeters, which by the time this would have come out wasn't that much. Well, I mean, still decent, but for the size and everything, it wouldn't have done too much.
I would
But
have thought it had been more.
I know it looks
fucking
like it would have
read
more, but then it's like looking at the size versus the amount of armor. The more armor you put on, the heavier it gets. It's still 150 ton.
Sure.
The engines would have been redlining the whole time.
Turn me off!
It's like, please kill me. And if you want to build this, of course, last year TACOM brought out their model of the 150 ton OI, which I desperately want. And you also have Fine Molds. They brought out one as well. And
I'm sure the Fine Molds one is an excellent kit too. Everything they do is excellent.
Judging by the reputation of Fine Molds, yes. I do like their box art going against the Soviets and the T-34 in the background.
Mm.
Like they would have ever got there. So that's one T-34-85. What they're not showing is the other 150 SU IS-2s. Okay, up next, we have the Ram Mark 1 and Mark 2 from Canada in 1941. Of course, there's another tank we did an episode on. So go back and check that one out. But this is multi-turreted because it has a rotating turret in the hull, except for the late variant of the Mark II, which had it was a cast hull and it had a ball turret mounting as opposed to a rotating turret. But it's a very cool tank. Should have been used a bit more, unfortunately. Mainly used as engineering vehicles, command vehicles, stuff like that. So never really saw tank-on-tank combat. If you want to build one, well, you have Bronco with their Mark II, and you have Verlinden.
Verlinden.
If you hate yourself. Of course, sometimes you don't have a choice, so you kind of just got to suck it up, don't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, cool tank. Go check out that episode. What happened there? Never mind. Right. Don't worry, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go.
That's
Okay,
right.
so up first of those 6, we have the SMK from Russia, 1939. So, of course, if you want to get a bit more of a detailed background about the Soviet heavy tanks and the start of World War II, go back to our KV1 episode. But a brief rundown. So the SMK were one of 3 tanks that were initially being considered for Russia's primary heavy tank. Of course, you had the T-35 and the T-100. Ultimately, all 3 of them lost out to the KV1 just because of practicality. Turns out 1 turret is better than 2 or more. But of course, this is early war when they're thinking you needed a small caliber high velocity gun for tanks and a high caliber low velocity gun for infantry. High explosive, all that. Turns out you just need 1, which is usually a large caliber high velocity gun. Who would have thought? However, you can see influences of the KV1 within the hull. It was designed by the same guy. You have 2 turrets, one in the front, which houses a 45mm anti-tank gun, which is a very decent gun for its time. And in the top turret behind it, sitting in the middle of the tank, you have a 75mm howitzer and a Dishka, it was a Dishka machine gun that popped out of the rear of that turret for rear defense. Only 1 prototype was made, and it found its way fighting in Finland for a while. There's few photos actually recording it fighting. However, unfortunately, it ran over an anti-tank mine and was disabled and eventually was destroyed. So the 1 prototype that did see combat didn't last long and unfortunately was destroyed, and there's nothing left of it anymore, which is a pity because it's such a cool looking tank. It's so weird looking. And it might just be my bias, however, because I have built one and I love it, and it's like the
That's
best.
what you get for attacking Finland.
Yeah.
I might be biased on that, though.
Yeah. But it is a cool tank. It is cool for doing what ifs. So if you want to build one, you have Trumpeter in 35th scale, or you have the TACOM SMK kit in 35th. And if you want to build them, I recommend the TACOM one. That's the one I built, and it is a fantastic kit. Loved it. Loved every second of it. It was a good build.
It is cool box art on it.
That as well. It was just, because I did mine as whitewash, rusted up, stuff like that.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's like one of the best kits of builds I've made, and I haven't been able to match it since. All right, up next, short run one. We have a T12 and T24. This was made by the guy who eventually designed the BT series of tanks. So he made a medium tank. This one is quite weird. It never went beyond prototyping. Turns out it wasn't too good, but you've got one turret in the middle, standard tank, and then you've got a rotating turret on top of that. So that makes it a multi-turret. It has a very weird suspension system, like sort of half bogey, but narrow, and doesn't look like it could actually support weight that well.
I'd say it looks like it's waiting for high water.
Yeah, it's very early suspension design. I'll give it that. Both of these, you have the T12 and T24, both armed with the 47mm gun and DT machine guns all around. I mean, you can see it's got machine guns sticking out the hull, out of the turret on the top, coax, and then one on either side of the rotating main turret. So machine guns everywhere. Very interesting looking tank. It looks more like something steampunkish, or
Yeah.
not of this
Yeah.
universe. Like, it looks like something from a video game.
Yeah, early 90s graphics.
Yeah. Either way, if you want to build one, because they are cool, it is a riveted tank, so I'd love to build one. Unfortunately, the two that you can build are Hobby Boss.
I mean, the 222, this is the first Hobby Boss kit I've ever built, and it's so far not bad.
I think there's like a difference between their armor and aircraft. I know the aircraft are diabolical.
They're horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. But if you want to build one, looks interesting. Up next, we have the T28 medium tank. This one was used in production. It has a 75mm main cannon in the turret, and twin machine gun turrets in the front of it. Very 1930s looking tank. Again, the coax in the turret is in a ball turret as well, so the coax is flexible as well, which is the Germans did like to do that a bit. It is a very large tank for its class, being a medium tank, and I think it looks damn fine.
They went from making these to making fucking nude beach scale models.
And if you want to build one of these, you have Hobby Boss, Zvezda, and another one that I can't remember its name, and you probably don't want to build anyway.
Calling them out.
Okay, next we have the T-35, built in 1930. Of course, this is the tank that is well known for having 5 turrets on it. And there is still one that is a runner. One of the reasons that it never went into production, it was too heavy, too long. Of course, the longer the tank, the more difficult it is to steer. And apparently this one was very, very tiring for a driver to try and drive around. So then, of course, the more turrets you have, the more people are doing things. It's more work for a commander to command people. That's one of the main drawbacks that was found with multi-turreted tanks. And of course, you got 5 of them. So you've got two. So you got 2 turrets front and back on opposite sides. They have 45mm cannons. Next to those, you have a DT machine gun turret. And then right in the middle of them, you have a fully rotating traversable turret with a 75mm howitzer and a DT machine gun in it as well. It's a very long tank. It's a very cool looking tank, one that I definitely want. If you want to build one, we have Hobby Boss and Zvezda. The Zvezda kit actually looks really good for it. And there's one
Yeah.
left.
If this thing floats, it'd make a good river defense boat.
Honestly,
Oh, dude,
yeah.
I would have.
Or you just drive it forward and then park it right in the middle of everyone. Just go, right, have at it. Except you wouldn't want to do it because the T-35 only had something like 30mm of armor. Yeah, there wasn't much. Okay,
Come at me, bro.
quick one. Up next, we have the T-100, which is, of course, makes up the trifecta for the early Soviet heavy tanks. The SMK T-35. We have the T-100. It looks very similar to the SMK. There was a design brief on that. Top left, you can see it's been mislabeled, but the top is the SMK, the bottom is the T100. You can see there's slight differences, but similar idea. One weird thing is this: it actually has rubber road wheels, which is kind of like off pace for Soviet Russia.
Yeah, they don't need to deaden the noise in there or anything.
Yeah, nah, no need. Of course, you have the 45mm cannon in the front, 75mm howitzer in the top, and also a rotatable machine gun turret on top of the turret, the howitzer turret. I like to think of the T100 as the SMK's ugly sister. It's like close enough, but something's just off. If you want to build one, we have Trumpeter in 35th and OKB in 72nd scale. Two left, don't worry, we're almost done. From the Japanese again, we have the Type 95 heavy tank, designed in 1934, not to be confused with the Type 95 Ha-Go light tank. This has 3 turrets. You have one in the rear with a machine gun, that poor bastard who has to sit behind the engine. You have a 75mm in the top and a 37 or a 47 45mm in the front. Never went past prototyping. However, it does have one hell of a cool camo scheme. So
That is pretty nifty.
props to the rule of cool. If you do want to build one, SS Model has them as well. So SS Model got a lot of cool things going at the moment.
Is that camo outlined in black? Because it looks like it is in the black and white photos, but not in the color photo.
Yeah, I think it is. It is outlined.
Really cool.
There's some very cool trial photos that have been taken, I gotta say.
Oh, yeah.
Very neat. It's a very interesting looking tank. All right. Last but not least.
Oh, God.
We have the Vickers A1E1 Independent from Britain, 1925. I have seen this up close, and it is ginormous. Like, Jesus Christ.
It looks like a bullfrog in that bottom center picture.
Yeah. Armed with, it has 5 turrets as well. You have 4 Vickers machine gun turrets surrounding a central domed turret that houses a 47mm cannon. It has 20mm of armor and wouldn't have been able to do much. However, it does look awesome, especially the top middle photo where it's a sort of exercise. But I also included that photo just because of whatever that little tracked one-man armored thing is. I don't know what it is. I got to find out what it is because it looks awesome.
I just realized this gun has no depression.
None at all, unless you're looking over to the sides.
Yeah.
If you want to like fire right in front of you, it's not happening.
No.
Of course, it is a 1920s tank, fully riveted. So I would love to have a model of this. If you want to build one, you have the SS model again, and accurate armor. Also do one in 35th scale, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And it is it for multi-turreted tanks. You guys really need to go out, find them, buy them, build them. They're cool. They don't get enough love, except for the M3 Lee. But yeah, Hope you
Well,
guys
that was
enjoy
very
it.
interesting. That was very interesting.
That
Thank
was
you,
very
Callum.
interesting. I didn't realize there was that many.
Neither did I. I thought it would be like 5 or 6. Turns out there's about 18.
I figured it'd be like touching on a few like World War One and Interwar year stuff, but
Well, a lot of those ones actually, right up to like the 20s or so, they still were using sponsons as opposed to turrets.
yeah.
So it doesn't really count it as multi-turreted because it's not technically a turret.
Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah, they're more sponson type. But we're just going to have a brief intermission, then we're going to be back with hobby news. We do have something exciting during hobby news that I am very glad to be promoting. Until then, we'll be back in a moment. So we are back, and of course, we always come back to the hobby news, which is always a good section that I quite like. And up first, so Clint has a buddy, Tam, Kits and Bits. He's joined our server, and he's been talking about a book and a kit for beginning modelers. So I figured, well, we'll just chat about it for a bit on the old podcast. Let everyone know all about it because it's a pretty cool thing. It's pretty big to go out and write a book like this and get it published and sell it and all that. So anything to help spread the word about it. It's a pretty cool thing. And also thanks Clint for getting him on the server. All right, so introductions to scale modeling by Tam from Kits and Bits. So if you're looking to start out on scale modeling but are unsure about how, this book is ideal for you. From hints and tips on what tools to use to informative instruction on how to build your first model and many of the techniques needed to make it more realistic, this book is aimed to help the beginner scale modeler to help them develop their skill. And also alongside the book, he's releasing a beginner box. So these boxes will include one Airfix starter kit. You can choose which of the kits you want. A copy of the Introductions to Scale Modeling, a set of sprue cutters, a set of pencils, a bottle of brush cleaner, or tub of wax brush cleaner. Depends on where it's been shipped to. Of course, some countries have different rules because they're not cool. 2 sets of tweezers, 1 set of sanding sticks, 1 set of sanding sticks, coarse, medium, and fine, 1 metal file, and 1 craft knife. All of this comes in one box for the price of £35, which is about $70-ish New Zealand, and is ideal for the younger modeler or the modeler who is wanting to try modeling but doesn't want a large outlay in the cost. The kit's available for aircraft. There is a 172nd Spitfire Mark 5C, a BF-109E3, a Mustang 4, and a Hawker Hurricane Mark 1 for tanks. It is in 76 scale. It is the Airfix Cromwell Mark 4 and the Tiger Mark 1. He also has one ship that you can get, the 1-400 Mary Rose. So this is an ideal thing for if you're trying to get your kids into modeling, or your friends, or just something like that. It's literally got everything included. You don't need to go out and try and find it and find all the individual things, and it's at a reasonable price. So honestly, this is a really cool thing. The whole book, and
I don't know, Callum. £35. That's kind of a steal.
it is actually a bit of a steal, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
because
not sure
you
what
could
that.
spend that and plus on the kit itself.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what's that? Let's see, because that's about 70 New Zealand dollars, which is pretty decent. Let's just convert that to US, shall we, for our US based guys, and for the two others in the podcast right now.
Hi, that's me and Clint.
Tell us in freedom dollars.
Okay, need to change that to. Okay, so that comes to 44 freedom units.
Dude, that's a fucking steal.
That's yeah. And you get a copy of the book with it as well.
Yeah, you get a copy of the book, you get a kit with it, you get basically all the tools you need for it for 44 Screeching Bald Eagles. That is a very, very cool thing. So, yeah, go out and find kits and bits on. You'll find him on YouTube. He does a live stream, Scale Model Inc. every week, and yeah, just go and support our mate Tam. He's doing a very cool thing. He's embodying what we on the server try and do. We try and bring in the new guys, first time modelers, stuff like that, and yeah, they require a lot of help, and this is one of the things that will help them. So yeah, we're fully behind Tam on this, and we fully support him.
And this is on GoFundMe.
Yes, you'll find it on GoFundMe.
I've never used GoFundMe. I've backed several things on Kickstarter, but I'm sure it's probably about the same setup.
Wasn't it just like it's a different type of Kickstarter, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. All right. Up next, Airfix, of course, have announced their 2024 releases. I'm only going to be talking about the brand new tooled, not their Reeboks, not their new decals or a certain number of parts or something like that, or vintage. These are brand new. In 48 scale, they're bringing out a Bristol Bulldog Mark II, which I seriously want. I love the Bulldog. In 72nd scale, they have the Boeing Chinook HC-1 in RAF. You don't sound impressed, Clint? Boring.
Why does it have to be 72nd? Why can't they do 48?
Or 35th, come on.
In 72nd as well, they are bringing out a Constellated B-24H Liberator, full interior, which actually looks pretty good. I wouldn't mind having one.
In 48.
Oof, that'd be big.
Well, yeah.
And in 72nd scale, I wasn't sure if there was a Reeboks or something, but a Bristol Beaufort Mark 1A. They're calling it a new tool just because they have the Mark 1, but the Mark 1A has got slight differences in it. Of course, it is a Beaufort, so I want it desperately. Up next, from AFV Club, in 1700 scale, we have the Shang Kung class frigate. With anyone want to have a go at trying to say that?
That's all you, boo-boo.
He Sung Fang?
Yeah. We'll go with that. I don't even know what it is.
No idea.
Funny.
But yeah, I didn't know AFV Club actually did ships. So yeah.
I didn't either.
It was this surprise for me. But interesting box art. Going for this sort of cartoony comic book look, but if you're interested in modern Chinese ships, look at this one.
Not at all.
Which are basically American ships because they copy what we do.
Yeah,
exactly.
Up next from Academy, we have in 35th scale an ROK K9A1 150mm SPG. This is the South Korean main self-propelled gun. Cool looking camo scheme. It is Academy though, so it might be good, might be shit. Usually a decent price though. There's one thing I will say about Academy. Consistently, their prices for their kits are pretty good. Anyway, after that, Ryfield Models bringing out a Leopard A2A7V. Were you in that splash zone, Clint?
No, I think it went past me.
Sorry, I get excited around leopards. It just does something to me.
It's just snowing in Canada again.
Another blizzard. So this is a German 2A7V. I do like the gun shroud. Make sure that they don't go bashing against trees. As a gift for the first batch of pre-sales, you do get some extra photo etch and parts. Not actually sure what they are for, but yeah, if you like it, go for it. These
Oh,
ones.
Sky Raider.
Yes,
So
yes.
these two. So you have the Hasegawa 172nd A1H Sky Raider with rocket pods. So that's a new parts one, but it's a Sky Raider. I was going to include it. I love the Sky Raider. Who doesn't?
Sky Raiders are one of
Love
my
Sky
favorite
Raiders.
It's
aircraft.
awesome.
The Tamiya kit is just amazing.
I want that kit so bad. And also in 48 scale, this is just a new decal set, but I saw the decal set and I had to include it. It's an OH6D with shark teeth decals, and that just looks awesome. I just like it.
Is that South Korean?
Japanese. You got the
Oh, okay, I see the sun now.
yeah. It's so cool. I love it. It's a cool decal set. Okay,
Oh,
Copper
more
State
armored
models.
cards.
Yep, Copper State models are bringing out in 35th scale a Lancia 1Z. They have one of these already. That was a 1ZM. The 1Z differs because it has, this is a multi-turreted armored car. Because of course it has the twin, I think they're Maxim machine guns in the turret, and then it has another turret on top of that turret that has a Maxim machine gun in that as well, fully rotatable.
Jesus Christ.
I so want one of these.
I say that is sexy.
I can't. There's no Copper State models in. I swear in New Zealand. If someone knows if there is one here, please let me know. I want to find out. I want one.
The white wall tires, man.
Ah, so cool.
Dude, fucking Don would be shitting his pants right now looking at that.
Yeah, I do like on their box art. They've gone. It's like sort of 3D rendered to, and then like fades to historical photo.
That is really cool.
That's neat. I like that. So I've talked about them a bit, but SS model, I think they're brand new because their big announcement is just a ton of stuff, like a ton of stuff. So I'm just pick and choose what I think is cool things. So you got an RBT5. That is a BT5 with giant rockets on it. I don't know what. Yeah, it just looks weird. Mickey Mouse ears.
Oh yeah.
I'm about to say it looks like a fucking Ontos but smaller with rockets.
It looks very top heavy.
Mm-hmm.
We have a BT-SV Soviet light tank that looks like a frog. We have a BT-7A, which is a BT-7 but with a 75mm short howitzer. A T-6 medium tank, one of the precursors to the M4 Sherman in a way. It looks Sherman-esque, and I want one. I saw one of these built at Nationals in Auckland last year, and it's beautiful. So I really want one. It's a interesting looking medium tank. Of course, they have the M2 light tank, the M2A2 light tank, T35 M2 medium with the turret that I like, as well as the M8A1 tank destroyer. The M8A1, of course, the M8 Scott has the short-barreled 75mm. It's a field gun that they use for it. The A1 variant was a prototype. They uses the M4 Sherman gun. They were trialing that. However, they were having some issues with it, and around this time, the M10 Wolverine was already driving around and making a name for itself, so it wasn't really necessary. So they dropped it. But yeah, SS model, go check them out. They got some really cool stuff. Edard releasing a 172nd Albatross D3, something I'm interested in, but it's not a D5, so I'm not that interested. But it's a cool little biplane. IBG bringing out a couple 72nd armors. First one is a Semovante M41M DA90-53 SPG. If you want to learn a bit more about that one, go look at our Italian tank episode. It's the last one on there. It's a very cool looking tank with a 90mm cannon on it. What's not to love? And also a DAC Mark 1 British armoured car. Again, I wish it was in 35th scale, but since we can't have it in 35th scale, still a cool armoured car. I want one.
Definitely cool.
I love the twin Vickers K guns on the top as well.
I've played that in Squad 44. Pretty fucking fun.
Don't they have like a 900 or 1,000 round fire rate or something like that? Like something ridiculous.
I'm not sure the exact number, but it is fairly high.
Yeah, because they're aircraft guns. Yeah, the Vickers K were used for aircraft, and then they decided, hey, this is good against people as well. Just look at the Germans and what they did at D-Day. Okay, couple more. Large-scale aircraft border models are bringing out a 35th scale Heinkel HE-111
With bombs.
with bombs and torpedoes. And you'll be able to change out to different variants, which had either the 8mm machine gun in the front and the nose, or the 20mm cannon in the nose, and other small changes and tweaks. Full interior, going to be a large kit, going to be an amazing kit, and again, one that I desperately want because it's just going to be cool.
It's going to be so big.
I know, right?
I do love the HE-111.
Yeah, it is cool aircraft.
Flying that in IL-2 is so much fucking fun.
You know it's got a tail gun?
Yes. Well, a belly gun.
No. Like, in the tail here, you can see my cursor?
Yeah.
Right there is a gun that fires backwards. It is mounted in the tail, and it not flexible or anything, and it's just aimed backwards, and it just fires backwards.
Remote controlled, I guess.
Yep, but not trainable. Yeah. And last and least,
TACOM, just take my fucking money.
From TACOM, 3 more Jagdpanzer 38Ts, or Hetzers if it's after the war. They are bringing out 3 of them. We have the Command version with a full interior, a Flammpanzer version, and a Kugelblitz version with a rotating turret with 2 30mm cannons in it. Okay, I'll take the Kugelblitz one. That looks cool.
It does look cool.
And
I love the Hetzer because it's like,
38T.
38T, and I love 38T. I gotta build mine, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get these 3 as well.
You say that like you're disappointed.
I'm hearing his wallet crying from here.
I mean, they might as well just be like a school bully, like to try and take my lunch money from like right now.
They basically are.
Yeah, it's like anything TACOM comes out with, it's like, yeah, I should get that too.
I do love TACOM stuff. They do, yeah. Their kits are awesome, except for their Weasel, from what I've heard.
Which is a shame because the Weasel's such a cool vehicle.
Yeah. All right, so that's all for hobby news. It was a bit of a long one, but it's been a bit of a break. I am going to shut the fuck up now, and I'm going to let the other 2 talk for a bit.
Righto, mate. All right, so I got 2 slides. Between having company and work, I haven't been too terribly busy, but been working on my North African group build diorama. It's a Tamiya, fucking British Universal Carrier, and did some scratch building on it. Right now, it's in the prime phase. Lots of fun. Torn up fenders. I got the Reich fucking running gear and track set, which was kind of a pain in the ass to put on, but very well made. I'll just get their kit next time. Lots of fun little details, like a tarp over the fucking Bren gun and wires and all that shit. Then you got some figures down there, which I've been painting on this entire episode. And then you can kind of see the base there on the bottom left, but
that's a lot of work for someone who hates sand and hates the desert.
Oh, dude, I want this to be done so bad. So fucking bad. Like, it's been 2 weeks since I've really... no, right? It's been like 2 weeks since I've actually worked on anything. Minus last night, I did 1 glazing layer on the British base uniforms, and that was it. Like, I haven't...
They're looking good. I really like the guy that's looking up.
With the Bren gun.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
and the guy with the cigarette in his mouth next to him, he's really cool looking too. Nice heads.
Thank you. Yeah, love the resin heads. All right. To continue on with the fucking North Africa build on the right hand side, there's the palm tree primed up, and then the base coated. I got to hand paint all the rocks and do some green color on the little grass shrubs. And then bottom, center, and left, that's my hobby room right now. I got it cleaned up, reorganized a little bit. And then top is from left to right, got 2 anti-tank crewmen, or anti-tankmen, fucking words. They're going to be part of, along with a rifleman, they'll be a part of a STRV diorama that I'll be starting once this North Africa campaign build is done. That's also why I'm ready for this thing to be over with, because I've been needing an excuse to build the STRV, and I want to try that Swedish splinter camo with a nice whitewash. I've got a really cool
yes.
vignette idea, so
Oh, that's gonna be sick.
thank you.
Alright, and this is mine. I finally was able to use my new airbrush from how do you say it? Gallery?
Some shit like that.
Gahaleri. It's not too bad. The trigger's a little stiff. I think it's mainly just because it's brand new and I'm used to using an old like Iwata that's like 10 years old. But it sprays really good. This is the Hobby Boss STKFZ222. Just put base coats down. Need to go in there and modulate the colors now. The only aftermarket thing I'm using on this is a aftermarket metal barrel from Master,
Ooh.
and it looks a lot better than the plastic one. And yeah, the other thing on the right, that box of 3D printed parts, I have not told you guys about this, so I'll let you know now, but I am printing a 1-to-1 scale chopper.
What?
What?
Yeah.
A 1-to-1 scale chopper.
Yeah. From some Star Wars. And the files are from Mr. Badley's Patreon. And it's like when I'm done, he'll run off the Padaron 360 control unit, and he will be fully controllable. I mean, he'll be a full droid. He'll be running off Arduino, and
Dude, that is fucking tits.
That is awesome.
Please
how
bring
long
that to the show in October.
I doubt it'll be done by October.
You're still
Damn.
printing it.
I'm like a third of the way done printing.
How much have you spent on bloody filament for that?
So far like $100.
Jesus.
It'd be like that. Worth it.
I am printing in a PETG, which I'm getting it at $17 a roll. So
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
no. I still have like 3 rolls from the first shipment that I bought, so it's going good.
Do you have a
And,
picture of the what it's supposed to look like when it's done, like the color and all that?
Yeah, I'll throw it in the chat here in a minute.
Fuck yeah.
And this is my redid my hobby room. Got pretty much all the stuff off my desk, and I've used this honeycomb wall system, which the wall grid is not my design, but 90% of the holders I designed myself in Fusion 360 to just hold my hobby tools and get them up off the bench and easily accessible. Some people might call it OCD. I call it putting shit back where it belongs.
Yes.
But yeah.
That's
Love it, Clint. Love
that's
it.
so cool.
Well, thank you.
I think
Definitely
I watched
something
your
I need.
video.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I watched
Myself
your
an
video
FDM
on
printer.
YouTube like 3 times, just admiring that shit.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's I think you've roached past OCD. We need a new
And
classification.
I got my laser engraver finally up and running, which is back there in the corner. And so I'm going to start like another like little business venture is like making cutting gates for the Proxon, like you see on my Proxon there,
Oh my god,
and
yes,
also making like paint racks and stuff, and seeing if I can't sell them at shows.
dude, yes.
Nice. Very cool.
Thank you.
Oh, real quick, Clint, I'll be using your jig again for the FCRB.
Nice. Did it work out good for the first time?
It did. It worked out great.
Glad to hear it.
All right, back to me. So this is what I've been working on all weekend. This is the Musaru Cup Ural 4320 Horizon Island Defense Force. So it's going to be rusted up to hell and back, mounting a Soviet 61K 37mm anti-aircraft cannon on the back. And yeah, at the moment I'm just waiting for oil paint to dry.
HIDF.
But yeah, I do not like this kit at all. I really don't like this kit.
Has it just been hard to put together, or just
Yes,
okay?
and it's too small. Too small for me. It's too fiddly. Things keep breaking off. The chassis plastic is weird. It's that black plastic, which
Uh,
I had to. I had half a bottle of extra thin that I can't use anymore for the standard paint because, yeah, like flecks of that stuff got into it from my brush, and it's just contaminated the bottle.
is it
Like-
styrene or is it like ABS?
I'm not sure. It's got like a sort of rubberish feel to it. Yeah.
When you light it on fire, what does it smell like?
I don't know. I'll go get the light. I'll take a deep breath.
Go like, I'm falling.
Why am I on the ground right now?
The floor is heavy.
But yeah, I need to get this one done so I can finish off my North Africa diorama. So this is part one of it, the MS-406. Took me 6 hours to paint this thing because I was hand brushing the camouflage onto it. This is going to be a YouTube video as well, that one. So, but really cool kit, the Hobby 2000 MS-406. It's a really nice kit to put together.
What scale is this?
72nd.
Oh, okay, I was about to say that's why it's so small.
Yeah. It's yeah. It was a cool kit to put together. First time I've ever used canopy masks as well.
Huh.
Comes with it, and also comes with roundel masks, but I didn't have the right colors for it, so I didn't do that. But so this is modeled off a pilot, Jean Toussaint, I think it is. Fought with the Free French in Syria, joined the RAF in Egypt for a while to fight with them, hence why there's RAF roundels on. And then he went back to fight with the Free French after that in Syria and Palestine.
Nice.
So my diorama is depicting his time in Egypt. So currently he's working on the a CMP truck to add to the diorama. So yeah,
Oh,
but
fuck yes.
part one has started.
Oh, that's really cool looking.
Very nice, Callum.
And then my photos went a bit weird here, but something else I finished over the holidays, my 32nd scale Newport 17. Yeah.
I really like
Very
the decals
nice.
on that.
The decals look cool. The decals are the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life.
I watched your YouTube video.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
I have never yelled before at decals. In this one, I was yelling at them.
Didn't you say one blew off?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, it had Mark fit underneath it. I'd massage all that. It was down, and I was literally airbrushing varnish over it to seal it. And I don't know how, but there was just no adhesion underneath it. And the minute the airbrush touched it, the the decal ended up halfway across the room.
I just said fuck it.
I fucking almost did.
Oh, I
Be
bet.
making plain
Jesus.
noises as you throw it in the trash.
Yeah. So
But looking at it, you can't tell you had any problems.
I'm good at photography. You don't want. There's a lot I'm hiding. Yeah. And this is the first time I actually got pre-shading to work. So
Very nice.
but that's all for whips, Garrison.
All right, so currently we still have the North Africa campaign group build going on until March 1st. You still have time to join us, throw in a build. If you're working on one, you got like just about a month and a half or so left. Very exciting. It's going to be one prize for the entire thing, so lots of judging to do. But join the Discord. We got a great prize towards the end if you win. And stick around for the next one after this.
I'm excited for the next group build, I will say.
Oh, me too. Me too.
That's going to be my Force Perspective one. And after you've listened to us, check out all the other model podcasts. Plastic Posse, Small Subjects, Scale Model Podcast, Built Sideways, all of them. Go check those guys out after this. Support the community. They're a nice bunch of guys. And lastly, we always have to thank our Patreon supporters who help keep the lights on for the podcast. That is Paul Gallagher, Clint, who is on the podcast right now. He pays to be on here.
Kidding.
Oh, no. What kind of fucking OnlyFans is this?
We send you feet pics once in a while. Robert Judson and Robert Brisbane. Big thanks to everyone for supporting the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
And
thank you very much, gents.
This is going to be a very good year for the podcast, I think. We've got some very cool things planned out for it for 2024.
Yes.
You guys have any parting words?
I have one thing.
Yeah.
So in October, up in Leavenworth, Kansas, if you're in the area, there is a model show. I believe it's October 5th. Myself and Clint will be there selling some product as well as bringing some models. So if you guys are interested to buy some M&P merch, not sure exactly what we're going to put up yet, but we'll have some M&P merch, some channel merch, and some stuff from our stashes and whatnot to be selling. So hope to see you guys there.
All right, Clint. Anything else to add?
While we're there, it's like I've been designing some painting jigs that I'll be selling, and whatever else I can think of designing that I might be able to sell, well, I'll be bringing too.
Cool. All right. This is the start of 2024 for the Micro Machines podcast. So, as usual, you have been listening and watching the Micro Machines podcast. We thank you for making it this far. We're really surprised. But of course, go and watch our other episodes and everything else. Join our socials, comment, send us a Facebook message, email. Give us a bit of feedback if you want. You can say whatever you want. Don't worry, even if it's bad. Those are the best ones.
Yes.
But we shall see everyone next time when we talk about, I don't know, something else. Until then, it's bye for now.
Deuces.
See ya.